tomorrow I have a
job interview.
oh my gosh,
Oh my gosh.
that's another big challenge that I have to take hold. Hello YouTube. This week has been a very slow but important week for me because a lot of good things are happening this week. So last Tuesday, which was yesterday, I had my second driving lesson. And so it was a longer one, I feel, because I had to drive on more. I had to drive more, drive a lot more than the last one, because compare that to my first driving lesson. The second driving lesson was pretty much more in depth. A little bit more driving, because yeah, the first driving lesson, I remember I only drove really slow at very quiet roads and all that, trying to do stop signs and all, turning right, simple maneuvers like turning right and turning left. I remember in my first driving lesson, I had trouble keeping my lane when I turn. Another thing is that I had trouble. I had a little bit of a hassle when I try to try to come to a complete stop, because I've been slowing down, but not prepared, slowing down in advance. Because I remember correctly, before my last turn, my first driving lesson, I had a little bit of trouble just slowing down, pre-slowing down before coming to a full stop, because I had to just stop at one point. Just in general, go to a complete stop. And another thing is, I remember correctly to park along a curb. I remember correctly that I parked a little too far, as the car kind of sticks out more, so I had to keep more to the right and trying to back out and yielding the right of way and exiting the parking lot and yielding the right of way to incoming traffic. But now in the second lesson, I realized that my turning has improved. I remember correctly, from comparing my last one to this one, I now kept my lane a bit more often, because when I turned left, I had to keep to my lane. Yeah, because last time I was flooding into the other lane, which is bad. And now in this lesson, I had to do different kinds of turns now, like simple U-turns and scanning the intersection, like whether they have a stop sign or not. Because when the road on the left, intersecting street has no stop sign, and I have a stop sign, I'll have to scan. I have to scan right and left to see to yield for incoming cars, traffic that's passing by. And another thing that I will have to improve is turning without a stop sign. My instructor once told me, while the instructor tells me to do many turns, like right and left turns, I have to now do. The instructor also would make me do turns without stop signs, like turns that I cannot stop, but just turn the wheel, slow down and all that without stopping. So without a stop sign. And so, but also when I turn left, I also have to watch out for cars going forward, I think, because at one point the instructor made me turn left without a stop sign, and there was a car that passes, and I did not yield, and I didn't realize that he had no stop sign and all that, so I had to yield, and I made a really critical error. Oh my gosh, boom, the instructor slammed the brakes. That was one point. This is one of the only times where he had to stop the brake, had to use the brake. But other than that, he didn't really touch anything else. He just says, "Oh, keep to your center," or something, stay close to the center. And also another thing in the second driving lesson was I had to. He made me change lanes, and I easily check. I have to check the mirrors, but it's always a blind spot. I forgot for the first time. Like one of the times, I forgot to check that blind spot. Oh my gosh! But that is part of the learning process. That it's a new thing. Like you have to check to practice checking your blind spots when you do the lane change, signal mirror and all that, and check your blind spot. Okay, so another thing that's coming up is that tomorrow I have a job interview. Oh my gosh, that's another big challenge that I have to take hold. Because, I had an interview. I remember correctly that I had an interview last summer and it did pretty decent. Like, I'll tell you, for the first time, it went pretty decent for the first time as a first timer in an interview. I remember correctly that I made a few errors in there, like not asking the right questions and trying to stay calm and all that stuff. But now, tomorrow, I think I could get I could get a better feel of what an interview get a better feel. And so, here is the thing. The plan for tomorrow is that I'll have to just prepare for the interview, try to correctly answer some common questions, and try to do work on what you I needed to improve for the last from last time, like where I have to just stay calm and ask the right questions when they ask me if you do have any questions and all that stuff. And so, yeah, so tomorrow, yeah, but this time I think I have less anxiety than the first one, because the first one, I remember correctly, that was one of the hardest 3 hours. Like I had to spend 3 hours traveling. I ended up applying to a job that's so far that I realized that there's a distance commute problem and a cost problem, because the last job that I tried to apply to was very far, and that I had to spend so much money on transport and time that you can't get back. You cannot you cannot get back time and all that stuff. So I realized that the job is kind of not right for me because of the distance. So yeah. So at least this company that I'm applying to is not as far, and it's in Montreal. So you just take a bus and metro and bus. It's kind of similar to my commute time to school. Just gotta wake up so early and all that stuff. It's a bit windy. So wish me luck. This is the time to get my first ever job. Alright, if you want to see more content, please subscribe. And if you like this video, hit that like button. Make sure it's blue. And if you do subscribe, please turn on notifications to see my upcoming updates for new content, if you want to be alerted. Alright, so wish me luck. All the best.